had to learn how to be adorable, like a lot. So, 10 reps of smiles, 16 giggles, and marinette, different ways to say marinette.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Miraculous panel. I am so excited to introduce the voice of Ladybug herself, Cristina Vee.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
We have the voice of fan favorite Kwame Tikki, Mela Lee.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
We have the voice of cheese loving Kwame Plagg, Max Mittelman.
Hello.
And we have fan favorite friends, Mylene and Kim, Jessica G. George, and Grant George.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Good.
We're all together.
Friday. Friday.
We're back in the convention world in a virtual capacity. We've got 45 minutes of fan questions. If we're ready to go, let's go ahead and start. The question's going to be for all of you. So we'll go Cristina, Mela, Jessica, Grant, Max. And the question is, what's it like to work on a show like Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir?
It's getting crazier and crazier. I feel like during quarantine, the popularity of the show spiked so much. And it's been really cool. I recently joined TikTok, and that's opened up like the fan base in a whole different way. And it's really fun to see people's reactions and to interact with people that way. And it's pretty insane, guys. And thanks for giving my mom bragging rights, because she works at school and
Mela, how about you?
I think it's great. I think it's a great fandom. It's so positive. And yeah, definitely during the pandemic and the lockdowns, not only did we get to connect, but just all these messages of love and support and, getting to stay a family, not only across the world, but as castmates, recording from home. We've still gotten to connect on things like GalaxyCon, which is pretty awesome.
What about you, Jessica and Grant?
Go ahead.
The show has exploded more than I ever thought. You never know what show's going to click with people and what's going to take off and what's not. And this kind of started as this fun little thing that we were doing at a studio we all work at regularly. And boom, it's just kind of exploded from that point on. And it's going to be fun to see what happens in this new season. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had no idea how big it got. And our niece just sent us a note going, "Oh my God, I just saw your post and everybody on my college campus is totally into this show." And the other cool thing is, which is so cool, right?
yeah, what happened to Bronies?
Yeah, right. and we were taken over by Ladybug. So, but I also I was sitting in an airplane coming back from Atlanta to LA, and this little girl was watching it. And I was sitting next to her. And I'm like, "You see that? That's me." She's like,
Oh.
So it was so cool.
It.
And when we invited her in to come and watch, and I mean, she was like the coolest kid. Very happy.
So cool.
Yeah. So I love it.
What about you, Max?
It's great. What if I was like, that's all right. No, it's fantastic. Same thing. I didn't know that it was going to explode as much as it did when we first started recording. I remember we all had a table read for this show before the first episode, which is like something you never do in animation, or you rarely do that. And I was like, what is this? I was a little confused about the show. Like I said, nobody could ever predict what kind of popularity it would have. My favorite thing about recording is I don't get to record with too many of the castmates, but Ezra, the director, I get to record with him, and it's so much fun. He's an improv guy, so we're riffing back and forth the whole session. I feel like the other thing is most of my sessions are like booked for 2 hours, but I only have like an hour of recording. So for the next hour, I stretch it out and I just riff with the director. It's just a fun experience, and I love getting to see my castmates and hang out with them whenever we get to. We haven't been able to in over a year, but that's always fun.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, Max, when we first went to Comic-Con together, we of course we knew everyone wanted to see Cristina, but we were like, I mean, I guess we're here because Bryce can't make it. We had no idea how big the show was across the board for all of the characters.
Yes.
We
When
were
you
like,
said Comic-Con, I was like, which one? I was like, oh no, the Comic-Con.
Remember the first one where we got all that cool swag?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and everybody got an action figure in the audience. That was cool.
That was amazing.
That's so cool.
I don't do that anymore.
I need to sign up for whatever. Like, I want the world to go back to normal. I'm happy. I love virtual panels, and I love how the world's been able to like shift and like pivot to be able to still engage with fandoms like this, like across the world. But man, I can't wait to be back in person.
It'll be fun.
That one fan who sends us all, is it soap or is it candy? I can't remember. It's been a while.
Soap,
Candy.
It's soap candy. I'm not kidding.
Sorry, I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
I threw all the candy in my bath. It was kind of like a sugar bath. It was awesome.
Christina, do you remember I was in the studio one day and I'm like, oh, look, cookies. You're like, yeah. Yeah.
No, she watched it the first one.
Yeah, it was.
It was amazing. There's
like
some
cookies.
great fan who's like sends all
amazing
these
artists
for each of us and have our names on it and everything.
That's so cool. This fandom is so talented, and the artwork that we see, Mela and Christina, I see you guys do like Fan Art Fridays sometimes, and it's just, I mean, they're just so amazing. So over 500 days ago, you guys, over 500 days ago is when season 3 finished airing, and I know, isn't that crazy?
We waited a long time.
We waited a long time for season 4, which is finally here. And they've been saying that season 4 was going to air in September, but it's already starting to air. So the first 2 episodes have aired. Episode 3 airs tonight with Jessica. We're excited to see Mylene come back this season for the first time. And there's been a little bit of like a little hint that maybe your character might become a superhero this season. How do you feel about that?
Oh, maybe it's going to be very fun. Very fun. Yeah, we got a lot of surprises in store and a couple of major twists. So I'm having fun. It changes things up. It totally changes things up for what, how we can act too when we get to stretch it a little bit. It's been great.
So knowing that season 4 is, been so tight under wraps for the last 500 days. Here's a question for all of you again. What do you think fans can expect to see from the upcoming episodes of season 4? And we'll kind of go backwards. We'll go Max, Jessica, Grant, Mela, Cristina this time.
What can they expect? Without breaking NDAs, let's see. What can they expect? Lots of surprises and action and romance. Yeah, all of that.
My turn, right? Max, Jessica. Okay, that's as far as I could go. If you had put me third, I'd been in a lot of trouble, unless I was after Grant. A lot of love. Some really. The show's just a really nice balance in season 4, and like I said, there's some amazing little twists, and so it's going to be pretty colorful.
Yeah, it was interesting to think from the first season. Everyone kind of got akumatized to something, and we're like, okay, where's this going to go? Does it have anywhere else to go? Because it's already happened to me. It's happened to her and happened to him. But they keep pulling out the surprises. That's kudos to Zagtoons, who just keeps coming up with these great ideas and keeps it moving. And I'm glad they do, because there's a demand for it. So I don't think you'll be disappointed. That's all I can say without crossing that NDA.
For me, I think it's a lot like high school. I think I don't know, when you get into high school, there's always kind of some standout superstars. And then I was one of those ones in the back, a little bit quiet. And just like as you go through high school, you find out you have superpowers and what you're really good at, and you find your tribe. I can see that a lot more in season 4, where we have some extensions of superpowers and we all kind of get used to what we're really good at. And none of us have the same gifts. So it's wonderful to see how we all get along and get to use our powers together.
You're going to hear a lot of Kwamis talking at the same time.
For sure.
A lot of that was like the Kwame factor went way up this season.
Wait, I was laughing when the first episode aired because the Kwamis they also aired episode 6 already, so they've aired episode 1, 2, and 6. So it was funny to see episode 6, and the Kwamis are flying all over Marinette's room, out the window. She's trying to catch them. They're just flying. It's awesome. I'm very excited about this season and all that's to come. And along with that is the new specials that came out over the last year and are starting to air right now. So in addition to season 1, 2, and 3, and what we know will be season 4 and 5, there are a lot of specials that take the characters outside of Paris. So Cristina, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to work on New York and Shanghai? Because am I correct in saying they were dubbed during quarantine?
Both of them were dubbed during quarantine, which is crazy. I just feel like, I don't know. It's just everything is happening all at once. Like new episodes and specials and all these other developments. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Shanghai. I love the animation in general, but I think they go a little further. Quality. Well, I can't say that. I love the animation.
You can.
A different world, literally.
I like the animation. It's very pretty.
Mela and Max, have you been recording from home the season 4 and the specials too?
Yes. And thank goodness Max isn't too loud, because apparently we didn't know this, but we live really close to each other. So you're not interrupting any of my sessions lately. It's cool.
Yeah, I live at 3701
Anywhere Lane.
Yeah, no, I've recorded everything from home, and when I say everything, I mean everything, not just Miraculous, Ladybug. My entire career has been has been recording in my walk-in closet. It's been crazy. It's been a real challenge. I will say that, especially without air conditioning. But we're getting it done. Here's the cool thing about voiceover is if you have a broadcast quality microphone and you have an acoustically sound space, you can record broadcast quality audio and send it out everywhere. You know, I've recorded everything from commercials to animation to video games to promos, all in my closet, which is not preferred. I like to be in studios. I like to be with people face to face. I like that interaction. But I am just grateful that I get to still do my job. And almost from like the week 2 of this whole thing, I've been going nonstop. So it's been good.
That's awesome. So I think I got the notification that we're ready to go with some fan questions. So we'll start to see them pop up on the screen here, which will be really exciting. So we have from Sarah, how did you prepare to take on the roles of the character that you play on the show? So Mela, why don't you start off with that one? How did you prepare to take on the roles of the character you play on the show?
I'm laughing. It's like, like an exercise regime. I was like, well, I had to learn how to be adorable, like a lot. So, 10 reps of smiles, 16 giggles, and Marinette, different ways to say Marinette. I don't think it's too hard. I think you get really inspired when you see the drawings, and we're at a place now where a lot of times you don't see the character until you come into the session. And so that's what inspires the voice, and then it sort of takes a life on its own. What about you, Cristina?
Oh, man. I had 3 callbacks for this character, and every callback got increasingly more like, oh my God. So by the time we got in the booth, I was like, I'm ready. I've been through the ringer with you, Marinette. Let's do this. Yeah.
How do you?
I felt pretty well prepared because I think I had a good idea of what they were going for. And especially in the first season, there was really a big emphasis about Marinette and Ladybug being different. And there still is, but we really focused on that a lot the first season, like really toughening up Ladybug.
Grant, how did you prepare to take on the role of Kim?
I don't know how I got the role. I don't know how I got it. But I was trying to think, what is Kim based on? And the thing that popped up for me was back in 5th grade, there was a lady named Betty Buer who would come and do musicals at our school. And she would do these big productions. And I grew up in a small town, Watsonville, California. And they would, you know, so anything that was like theater was like amazing to do. And she was doing one called Sis Boom Ba, which was like a football musical. Go figure. And I wanted the role of Billy Bully so bad. Billy Bully was this, you know, just this pompous little jock guy that would come in and boss everybody around. And I just loved it. I actually got pneumonia when I was doing that show, so I couldn't do a lot of the rehearsals. And my friend Junior took over for my role. And when I got back, they're like, don't ever get sick again, man. He doesn't play it like you do. That was like my tour de force in 5th grade. And I think that's what Kim's really based on, is that whole, you know, just overly cocky kind of, you know, confident in his athletic ability, but still kind. So he's not quite a bully. I'm not a big fan of bullies. So that's where he comes from. It's based on Billy Bully from 5th grade.
He's like the softy, scary one. He's like the soft bully. He's not a bully, but he's still tall and powering. But he's like also the one that'll buy you an ice cream when it falls on the ground.
Yeah.
What about you, Jessica?
Getting into this role, I don't know how I got the role. I mean, I don't know how I got the role. And we can say that 13 different times. I think I was just hired. A lot of the characters I play are boys. So they wanted a boy edge on this. And so we kind of came in, and her voice changed a little bit as we were going through. But also it was, I guess it's kind of typecasting, because I am that girl. Like, I look like her. Like, I'm always with and you guys have seen with my pink hair and my multi-culty stuff going all the time. And I just think she's like the girl who just likes to be friends with everybody, you know, and the peacekeeper, and she doesn't stand out too much. And for me, getting into character is really, like Mela was saying, being able to look at it and really being able to, you know, I didn't see it until I did it. So, and then just being able to step right into it when you see it and kind of play around with the way she looks. We definitely all look like our characters when we're playing them.
That's awesome. I think one of my favorite Mylene's like lines, or just in general, was from the episode Horrificator, when she sings Smelly Wolf, because it just brings me back to Smelly Cat and like my friend. That's she sings Smelly Wolf, and it's great. Max, how did you prepare for the role of Plagg?
Well, I don't know if I've ever told the story about auditioning for Plagg, but when I went into the audition, I remember Ezra, the director, who was hosting the auditions as well, said, all right, he gave me a description of the character, you know, small, cute, sort of little helper. And I immediately kind of did that sort of thing for Plagg. And he was like, no, something else. And I was like, no, that's the voice. He wanted something else because we just worked on another show that had a similar voice without as much texture. And I was like, yeah, but it fits. And if it fits, why should I change it? So I didn't. And that's the voice he ended up with. And I don't know if people know, people wouldn't know, but sometimes there's scratch voices when we go into record. There's someone doing it in English. I have no idea who. And the scratch voice for Plagg.
Frenchish.
Well, I mean, it's perfect English, but it's a very funny character that they do for Plagg. He ends up sounding like this. And oh, yes, Plagg. Oh, yes. And so I have to record over that. It's a very different voice.
You know what?
Inspires me. I get some of my inspiration for my reads from this guy.
What were you going to say, Cristina?
We need to find them. I was thinking about this the other day. There are two actors, one female, one male, and they do all the scratch voices. We need to find them, and we need to connect, and we need to do a panel with them, because they're a big part. Everything is animated to their voices.
Mine's the guy. I have the guy.
You have the guy.
I have the
You
guy.
have the person that's
love that.
like this?
It's always like this. I'm like, oh, okay, wait, I have to bring my voice back up. But it was
The girl that does mine, I feel like a guy, because she'll be like, "Oh, Marinette!" It's like way up there, and I'm like, well, Marinette. Like, that's as high as I get.
And everything's pitched up and sped up too.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I feel like the French version of Plagg is so different from like the American version. And it's so different because Plagg sounds like, Max, you are Plagg. I can't imagine him sounding any differently. So when I hear it in French, it's such a stark difference. It is so funny because he sounds like a French butler. Like he's
it's very different. It's very different. Honestly, my preferred version is this one. Oh, Adrian, don't be so silly.
He seems so proper and posh.
It's great. It's
so
great.
I think we've got another question.
The world to hear that at some point.
I think we've got another question. Let's see. We have from Angeli. Ooh, this is a fun one. If you had a superpower, what would it be? So let's go, Jessica.
Oh, wow. Give me a second on that one.
How about a superpower to be spontaneous? Improv would be my special power.
My superpower
go.
would be to go invisible for sure, because then I can kind of go anywhere I wanted and whenever I wanted, for sure. Yeah. And maybe to help people, I sort of have to do that humanitarian thing, but yeah, definitely that.
To be invisible. I like it. What about you, Grant?
I heard something. I went to an on-camera audition, and sometimes they'll ask these questions just to like do a brain, whatever you call it, icebreaker. And this guy said his superpower would be able to create water, which I thought was actually really cool because you'd be able to like provide for those who don't have water, or when things are starting to dry up, make it rain or make it rain. I don't know. I just thought that's actually kind of a cool superpower.
It's like extra Aquaman instead of controlling.
Now you just Silver Surfer, where it's so hot that everything just melts.
You want to do something so good for the earth, and I want to disappear.
I want to sneak around into locker rooms.
What about you, Max? If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, my superpower would be evaporating water. I think that would be super, super cool.
What is that?
I feel like we've just come up with a new cartoon. We have the supervillain and the superhero now. We've got it. We're good.
Right.
Mel, what would your superpower?
You guys have kind of raised the bar here. I was just going to say Tikki's powers. I mean, she's the Kwame of creation. I think one of her superpowers is seeing the good in people and helping you find that. So I really love that. Her superpower is being a really good friend. I would love to be able to empower people to be superheroes, like their best self.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be great. Like millions of people everywhere that were like, I don't know if I have anything special. I'm like, of course you do. You like that voice? I do. You're like, yeah, you can do stuff,
That's already you, Mela.
Aw, thanks.
Mela's superpower would be to continue being Mela. So, what about you, Cristina?
I've been watching Invincible, which is amazing. And there's it's so good. And there's this character named Adam Eve, and I don't know what her power is, but she can just she can fly, she can have a shield, and she also built herself a house, which I really feel connected to at this moment because I want a home so bad. So I want Adam
That box isn't enough.
You're living in that corner.
That box you're living in right now.
This is all I have.
It's her episode of Tiny House.
It happens to be soundproof. I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
I feel like if I could have a superpower, I would want the power of teleportation, because everything in the world just seems so far away, and flying takes so long. I'd like to just I dream of Genie and blink and be somewhere else. That's
Kelsey, do that. Come over here.
I know. I just want to blink and be in Los Angeles.
We were just watching the show with that last night,
About
where people just,
teleportation.
the truck is swerving, all of a sudden a person just walks out of it. And it's like, what?
What show is this?
Here's the thing about teleportation is
Ghost Hunters.
you could, depending on how often you can teleport, if you can teleport at will, then wear a wingsuit and then just teleport way into the sky, and then you can also have the power to fly.
Yeah.
Love it.
Facts. See, that's such a good one.
Big brains right here.
We think we've got another question. Let's see if we see it pop up here. We've got from Addie. Do people in the public ever recognize your voice? Cristina.
I can't think of too many times. Oh, goodness. I know somebody saw me at Starbucks the other day, but the one time that comes to mind is I was ordering at McDonald's. I'm like, hi, can I please have a kid's meal with chicken nuggets, whatever. And I pull up to the window. They're like, oh, are you Riven? I was like, how did you get that from me ordering chicken nuggets?
It's a good fan right there. What about you, Mela? Do you ever get recognized?
I do sometimes, but I think one of the best times, I have a friend, Cristina Vee, who she was in the middle of a Sephora, and she was having one of those incredible moments, like those divine appointments. And so someone was like pouring out her heart and was like, I really want to be a voice actor, and my favorite voice actress is, and apparently at that moment, I called Cristina Vee to see how she was doing. And she's like, there's somebody here who needs to talk to you, Lifeline. And so I got on the phone and I was like, like, is your birthday present? That's a terrible Lifeline impression. I'm fired. But I mean, it was one of those things where she was like, wait, what? And I was like, I just like went into it. And it was neat just to be on the phone with somebody who was like, that's impossible. But impossible things happen all the time. I think that's the theme of Miraculous, is that everybody has a little something inside of them to make them miraculous. And we get to discover that in difficult times like pandemics or love triangles or squares. We get to figure out who we really are. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
What about you, Max? You all voice so many different things. So I imagine on any day you could get recognized for anything. Do you ever get recognized for your voice in public?
Not my voice. There was one time I was at LAX, and this kid came up. Just teenager, and I was with a friend, and he recognized me from the vlogs that I do with my friends, and we were getting our tickets to go to, I think, New Zealand, and he was like, Max, Robbie? And I was like, hey. That was fun. Other than that, like, not much. Yeah, if someone recognized me, they'll recognize my face from like the vlogs, and then they'll put it together that I also do the voice of something. Yeah.
What about you, Jessica and Grant?
Yeah, this is the calls we get. We get one from, hey, listen, I'm standing here on the Dream Cruise, and here you are giving the safety video to this one. Hey, I'm calling up ordering a Domino's pizza, and there you are talking to me. Hey, I'm calling concierge at Costco, and there you are talking to me. Jeez.
People yell it, they yell like, "Oh, really?" Again. But we were at Universal. We were at Universal Studios, and I mimic a lot of different characters that are already on TV. And Marge Simpson was talking, and everything she was saying, I was repeating it
on the Simpsons ride.
Inside of the Simpsons ride, while you're standing in the with everybody, and it was making people crazy. So I'd go, "What about you, Scott?" Right. And people are like, how does she know my name? We like goofing with people all the time. Being recognized for our voices? No. Being yelled at for our voices? Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm sure we'll get to this question, so I won't ask you yet. I'll hold it off till the end in case we get it. But we've got another fan question, I think. Let's see. We have from Lynn. If you could hang out with a character that you portrayed, who would it be and what would you do? Well, that's a fun one.
Wow, good question.
Yeah. Who has the answer first? I've been assigning them, but I'll let y'all volunteer. But
it's improv actors. Of course we have the actor. We have the answer.
How about you, Cristina? We'll go. If you could hang out with a character you portrayed, who would it be and what would you do?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I play a character named Bennett in Genshin Impact, and he's always like about adventures. And that sounds like fun. I'd like to go on an adventure with Benny. Let's do it. Let's go. Just get me out of this box. I'm ready.
What about you two down to the left, Jessica and Grant? If you could hang out with a character you portrayed.
God, there's a lot of them. Of people I'd like to hang out with. Yeah.
We did this one show called Team Hot Wheels. That was pretty fun. That kid's like zooming around in these fast cars, and even when they had the premiere, they had like the actual car that was there. And I'm like, "Grr." So that would be fun. Be able to speed around and have fun and hang out with your friends all day.
I played a character with Max on a show called Zach Storm, which is on Netflix.
It's a great show.
That's
also
a great
by Zag
show
Tunes.
by Zag
Same
Tunes. Man, I wanted that to go on. And I played this crazy character named Sassafras. Root beer. And just like she was just so funny. And I actually walked out of that audition going, and then I came back in and go, can I try something else? And completely walked in on another girl who was in there for another audition.
Christina on her third audition for this one.
And luckily it's Ezra who's like, yeah, come back in. But that's a good character to hang out with. I'd actually like to hang out with every member of that cast too.
That's so fun. What about you, Max?
I'd hang out with Lion-O from Thundercats Roar. He's just a barrel of fun and joy. He's a silly, fun time. I'd like to hang out with him.
Mela?
I think all my characters have a little bit of me in them, so I think I hang out with them all the time anyway. There's Jade, who's very serious, and all the Tikkis are very lovely. It's kind of a theme with me. I just play a lot of Tikkis, and Lifeline, because she's basically my Nana, and I miss my Nana. So in case you get to see this, Nana, I miss you. I'm getting vaccinated. Second shot coming in 2 weeks. We'll get to celebrate your birthday. I miss you.
If I could, I would hang out with the whole Miraculous cast. Like, that's what I think the whole cast of characters, they all seem like the nicest friends and the nicest group of friends. So I feel like I wish they were all real people, but it seems to me like you're all pretty much like your characters. So you seem like
next time you're in LA,
we'll sit around and eat soap together. It'll be great.
Goals. Those are the end of quarantine goals. Those are the words I've been waiting to hear.
Yes.
So I think we've got time for a few more questions. So let's see who's got on queue. We got from Beth. Do you have any tips for aspiring voice actors? Max, you've given advice on this before, and I thought it was pretty great. So how about we start with you?
Sure. Well, I feel like I take this question too seriously sometimes. Just have fun. Just if you're an aspiring voice actor, there's a great website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com.
Stacy.
It was made by Mr. D. Bradley Baker, a very prolific voice actor, and it's all completely 100% free. He tells you what kind of equipment you need, where to start, how to get an agent, what you should be doing to further your career. The main advice that most people will give is take acting classes, because voiceover acting is acting. So I would say any kind of performance experience is great. If you're a singer, if you're an improv artist, if you're an entertainer of any kind, that's always going to help you. And then the one piece of advice I like to give as well is mimic everything. Mimic everything. If you want to find your arsenal of voices, if you want to figure out what you can do different than the next guy or gal, then mimic your family members, mimic your teachers, mimic all the cartoon characters you see on TV, and you'll figure out your version of that character. If you mimic SpongeBob and it sounds completely different, great. That's a voice that you can use for a completely different character, and nobody's going to know that you're trying to do SpongeBob. If it sounds exactly like SpongeBob, then change it up. Do something different. But at least that way, it's a good way of figuring out how you can stretch your voice and where you can play.
That was awesome advice. So Beth, that was a great question. Does anybody have anything to add on to that? Go for it. I saw your hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just because Max, you say you get serious about this. So do I, because I've been doing it since I was 15 years old. And my 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. My godfather was a huge guy in the olden days, doing cartoons and stuff like that at Hanna-Barbera. And
what's his name?
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was his name? What was his name?
Hal Smith. He played Otis the drunk.
Hal Smith.
Yeah. And Christina and I did a show. Such a serious show about the Holocaust. Do you remember that? And she's in Odyssey.
I can't imagine a not serious show about the Holocaust.
A musical. Okay, so I've been studying since I was 15 years old, and I grew up in LA, and I used to take the 76 bus down Sunset Boulevard to study with a guy named Tom Clay. I was 15 years old. I never stopped taking classes. I think, and even to this day, well, we've been doing classes. We're Second City improv actors. And so anytime, something comes up and we're like, let's do an improv class today. But the cool thing about being able to do it online, which is a little weird, is that now we're able to study with Second City Chicago and Second City all over the place.
Oh.
Improv is so incredibly important, but so is studying. And what I'm finding is I went to a job the other day and he said, you know how many people I got for this job? 5,000. It was one line I had for a movie, 5,000 people. And I'm like, how do you wean through that stuff? He's like, you could feel the people that jump off the page at you. And I'm like, well, I'd love to ask you who those people are. And he's like, they're actors. They are the part. They study the part. And I think that it's really easy to go into our closets, buy a cool microphone, buy Oralex and put it all over the place. And therefore we are voice actors. And oh yeah, there's these services we can sign up, pay to play and get auditions. And, you're going to get your first job and therefore you get your first job and you think you can just work and work and work and work. And that's not the case. It's hustle. It's hustle. 5,000 people going after something. That doesn't stop me. And I'm not putting that out there to stop people, because you're going to work if you're going to work. If you're going to work, that's your decision to have in your mind and your thoughts. You're going to work no matter what, but it has to be somebody who studies.
Yeah, the definition of, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the definition of voice actor seems to be a little different these days to different people. So for me, I'm a voice actor. I work in animation and that's my voice acting. And but for some people, they just want to do it as a hobby, and that's okay. And there's plenty of places to do that. It can be a fun hobby. You can do that online. There's plenty of forums and fan dubs and things you can be a part of there. If you don't have a desire to do it professionally like us and you just want to have fun with it, YouTube, there's so much stuff, and you can make your own stuff too. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I'd like to add to that, there's a lot of different voiceover. I mean, you have industrial, narrative, animation, gaming, commercials. Learn about the different parts of the industry. Motion capture, where you get to wear this really cool suit and they're really using your body. Performance capture, which is voiceover, but also they're using your face, like it's your likeness. And there's so many different aspects of voiceover that working on your acting is important. Working on who you are and owning what makes you different and special is really important. It's one of the few industries in the arts where, even though 5,000 people auditioned, 10 years ago, there were 500 programs in development during what we used to have as pilot season. Now we're always doing things. This year, there were 50,000. So mathematically speaking, those of you that are dreaming about becoming voice actors, the odds are ever in your favor. So what makes you special and unique is what you love already, what you're passionate about. Do you like quantum theory and physics? Are you kind of a geek there? Do you love roller skating? Do you love music? Can you sing? All of these different things that make you are going to make you stand out and do what Jessica said. You leap off the page, or you leap off, the audio. They can feel the resonance of what you're passionate about. So own who you are. It's great to be able, like Max said, mimic and create your own. But you can't cash a check if you don't sign it with your own signature. And that is your voice and who you are. And bring that passion, because nobody else is going to read that. Somebody that I taught a class last year, and I teach everybody, I was like, look, every time you audition, you're auditioning for that casting director and their 14 friends and their next 14 projects. And you may not be perfect for that one role, but they've heard you and it resonates and they'll remember you. And I actually left a voice message for Jesse, and I said, I've got a role for you, because someone said, look, we can't find what we're looking for. Is there anyone? And I thought of this student of mine from last year. And the first thing he did is he was like, hey, you left a message. I think it was for somebody else. I'm like, no, it was for you. And he just texted me yesterday. He booked it. And it was because he took a class with me a year ago. And I got to know him and see what his talent was. So yes, study, yes, find out what part of the industry you love, and then get into free groups, go onto these free forums and meet other voice actors and become a part of the community. And there is a place for you. There is a place for you in this industry, whether it's as a hobby or, which is what it started out for me. And I was going to go to law school, and then I didn't go to law school. Turns out I'm pretty good at this. And so that could be you too. I just want to encourage you guys to look into your gift and where it might fit in to this incredible industry.
Love it. I think we've got time for one more question. So let's see. What have we got? We've got from Kimura. What's your favorite thing about voice acting in Miraculous? So Cristina, we'll start with you. What's your favorite thing about voice acting in Miraculous?
There's a lot. One, it's very fun to do. Two, I really like making kids happy.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to see them like at conventions or even online. I don't know. I feel very lucky that I don't know. It's great.
You played Sailor Mars. So you played a superhero, and now you are like the superhero. You are the Ladybug in Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. You're the hero. And then you're the face, like you're the literal face of another superhero in the New York special, aren't you?
Yes. It's, you know what? There's kind of a disconnect. I don't really think about it too much.
Oh, really?
Does that make sense? I don't know.
You're like Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep doesn't want to think about her process.
No.
Exactly like Meryl Streep. I was going to say something.
Yeah, I just try to take it a day at a time.
What about you, Mela? What's your favorite thing about voice acting in Miraculous?
I love that I get to be 3 or 3,000 years old. I love that I get to be blue, pink, red, like every different color under the rainbow. And it's just a great place to imagine and create and just be. I mean, I think on camera and on stage are lovely mediums, but voice acting allows you to be so many different characters. It's a great playground. And then second, and probably equally, is just what Cristina said, getting able to meet fans and finding out what it means to them. I didn't realize what it would mean to other people, that I have a job that does bring people joy or brightens up their day, or they get to play games during a pandemic and kind of get used to my voice. I never imagined that part of it. And I'm just fascinated and honored and just excited to meet people from all over the world through my work, through our work.
What about you, Jessica?
I love that no two storylines are the same, and I love how it's written. And so in each and every one, when my character shows up, I'm responding to whatever scene I'm in. So I'm either flying through the air as a totally different sound and totally different character, right? Or I am running or turning into monsters, So I mean, I also, Max brought up about working with the directors that you love. I will forever love Ezra's probably one of the best directors that is out there, and he just knows what he wants, and he's a friend and a longtime person. So I love working with him, and I love how he guides.
What about you, Grant?
Yeah, it's fun because I get to play a lot of different characters, which is, besides just Kim or doing like Markov or Bob Roth or Lollipop the baby or whatever. Being able to change it up makes it fun. I never know who I'm going to play, and it's so far in between sometimes that I have to get like a little sample of him. What does he sound like again? Yeah. So that's the challenge. And again, working with Ezra is always a hoot because he loves to laugh and crack jokes and be crass and eat soap.
And Max, what about you?
Same thing everybody else just said. I mean, there's so many amazing things about this show. I love getting to connect with the fans what?
No, you froze for a second. I was like,
oh no. I'm back.
You're
I'm
there.
back.
I can see you.
I was just saying that I love getting to connect with fans at the cons. That was an unexpected surprise of this show. Like I remember being at a convention and someone coming up and they wanted to talk to me about Miraculous Ladybug, and I was like, "Wait, really?" I was like, "Sure, yeah." It's really cool to see what an impact it has had on everyone. So I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so grateful that you guys were like, oh, we got the cat.
Wow.
I'm so grateful for all of you being willing to donate your time to be able to do something fun and interact with the fans. We are officially at time, but if we do have one more time, if you guys want to plug anything, say hi to anybody. But I definitely encourage everybody, check out their channels on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's fine. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever platform you're on, Twitch, feel free to promote yourselves. But we'll go Cristina, Mela, Jessica, Grant, and Max. And we're wrapping up.
Cool. Yeah, follow me on TikTok. That's where it's happening, apparently. Also, I release a lot of music on Spotify. If you would check them out, my music, I would really appreciate it. But also, I'm literally on everything except Twitch. So, see you there, fam.
Mela.
The Mela Lee at just Twitter and Instagram. I'll be on TikTok starting in May. It'll be Miraculous month. I mean, Christina's showing us all the way, so I'll be there. But definitely DM me or reach out to me, and we'll be doing some free webinars coming up soon for voice acting. So keep an eye on that.
Jessica and Grant.
Go for it.
I'm just grateful for the fans that are loving this show. Please keep watching. If you love this show, you'll probably love Zach Storm too. That's another great show with Jessica Sassafras. It's a fun, it's a kind of like pirate adventure show. That's fun. Bigfoot Family's on right now. I'm the bad guy in that. And if you like that, then check out Thunder and the House of Magic, where I'm the bad guy in that too. So those are the fun roles.
Yeah, Jessica G. George. GEE is is the beginning of my last name, not my middle name. And I always write back to everybody. I love fans. I do. I get like my chest. I just feel so good when I get to talk to people. And doing the conventions, I want them to come back so we could be in person. And I'm just grateful that we're all sitting here very healthy. So that's really important to me.
Yeah.
And Max.
I don't have much to plug. I would say follow me on all the social media, but right now you can only follow me on Twitter because my Instagram got hacked. So just waiting on that to get resolved. In the meantime, why don't you follow @LoudAnnoying on Twitch? It's the live stream and live show that I do with Ray Chase and Robbie Damon, my two very good friends who are also voice actors. And when we are at conventions, we do a live show, a live comedy and game show. And it's very fun. And you can follow @LoudAnnoying. Actually, that one's also hacked on Instagram. So just Twitter and Twitch for now.
Oh, no.
And eventually, I would say maybe hopefully by next week.
You might want to change your name.
Yeah.
Mix Mittelman.
Well,
I could.
Is it loud and very annoying, or just loud and annoying now?
Well, the show is called Lava, loud,
Right.
annoying, and very annoying. But
Oh,
the
so
actual handle is @loud and annoying.
Soft and pleasant, and they won't hack you.
Well, everybody, thank you for supporting the show. Thanks for supporting the stream. Be sure to follow everybody. Be sure to tune in on May 28th for the release of the Shanghai special on Disney Channel, where you can see all of these wonderful people taking on new adventures. And then we've got season 4 coming up in the United States as well. So be sure to support the show.
Thank
That's
you.
all we've got, everybody.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kelsey.
That was fun.